And you're welcome back. Non-professional teachers currently engaged in private and public schools in Ghana have been giving up till the end of May to sign up for skills upgrade in teaching methodologies. They will lose the right to teach in schools, especially the pre-tertiary level, if they are not, of course, compliant with the directives. The National Teaching Council puts the number of such teachers in Ghana at more than 120. So let's get into this whole policy directive and get some explanations. Lawrence Sapong is the Deputy Registrar Operations and Francis Adai is the Director Licensing and Registration at the National Teaching Council. They are all joining us to talk about this. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time here on the Pulse. What is bringing, first of all, about this policy direction that until the end of May, if teachers don't comply with this regulation, they may lose their licenses?
Thank you very much. The National Teaching Council is the agency responsible for professionalization of teachers in the country. And over the past 5 years, we've taken steps to issue license to the professional teachers, those who have been trained in the various colleges of education and teacher education universities. But we have also seen that there's a portion of teachers who are working in our schools and yet have not been trained as teachers. However, the act that we are using mandates such individual to also obtain authorization so that they can function as teachers. The reason why we are taking steps to see how we can have data on them and then organize pedagogy training for them so that we can give them such authorization.
Is this a long-standing practice, or you are now bringing this on board?
The National Teaching Council started operating way back 2008, but we have come up with a new act, that's the Act 1023, Education Related Bodies Act, which was enacted in the year 2020. And in that act, we have two categories of teachers. That the trained and then the untrained teachers. The untrained teachers, if you look at the section 80 of the Act, it says that there are some people who have not been registered under the law, and yet the board of the council can give them such authorization to teach in our schools. So it is the description or the prescription in the Act 1023 that mandate the council to issue such automation.
So for now, what would you say about the requirements that you need from these teachers to be compliant, to comply with the directives that you're giving?
Thank you very much. Those who are non-professionals, some of them are graduates, meaning that they were not trained as teachers. They have not done any teacher education program.
Say they have not been to the College of Education, right, to get that professional training. Right.
And then we have also those who have completed polytechnics, that is technical universities, and then we also have those who have completed senior high schools. Some of these non-professional teachers have these qualifications. They are mostly seen in private schools. So the minimum qualification to be enrolled on this program is the senior high school certificate.
That's the minimum?
That's the minimum.
Okay.
So if somebody has done a degree program but it is not in education, that person is required to do a 1-year postgraduate diploma in education to become a professional teacher. But if somebody is SS graduate, then he must do a 4-year degree program in teacher education to become a professional teacher.
Is there any particular reason why you're being strict on this regulation now?
Yes, because we want to maintain high level of professionalism in the teaching profession, and also improve upon learning outcomes. So if you go to other professions, if somebody is not trained in that profession, he cannot practice. So for us at NTC, as a regulator of teaching profession, we want to ensure that the learners are taught very well and learning outcomes are improved. That's why we want to ensure that these things are implemented in schools.
But how is this feeding into the whole change and reform you're bringing into teaching and learning within the education sector?
Agree with me. No nation can do well in education if the teacher workforce is very bad. So with all the policies that we are putting in place, we see the teacher as a pivot within which all these policies are revolving. So to get a right teacher in the classroom will help us to achieve the goals that we want to achieve. We have the education strategic plan. If you look at it, it's talking about quality education delivery. To have that quality education delivery, we need the teacher who understands the trends and the diversities among learners in our schools. So you can't just have somebody who has completed SHS or went through to do probably a course without the intention of becoming a teacher, only to find themselves in the classroom. I always make this analogy. Imagine you are traveling from Ghana to Abuja, and then the announcer in the flight make an announcement that I'm sorry to inform you that I'm on trained pilot, but believe me, I will take you to your destination.
Then you have to say your last prayers.
Yeah. so that's the reason why we want to see that the one handling our children or our learners in our classroom is somebody who is well trained and understands the dynamics of child development and can use different strategies to support the child to learn. Otherwise, all the interventions that we are putting in place will not help us.
But the teachers also complain, or those who write the exams complain that, well, the marking scheme, the score and everything is a bit really high for them. You know?
Yeah, I think there are two different
sides to it.
issues. Yeah. This particular group that we are talking about, they're already in the system.
Okay.
But they are not trained teachers. And we are saying that we don't want to sack them from the classroom. We want to organize short training for them to understand how to practice as professionals.
Right.
And once they do that, we give them a permit, after which they are required to go through the teacher training program. So within a period of 3 to 4 years that they are practicing as teachers, they have this permit, which also give them that assurance that they can practice as teachers while they try to professionalize themselves. And that's where Francis mentioned that if you are a first degree holder who doesn't have education certificate, someone like MSc Mathematics, BSc Biology, you may have to go and do postgraduate diploma in education.
But the question is, what kind of skill would this short course give you? Because some would say, okay, I say teach science. My background, all my studies throughout my life has been in the science field. So what skills do I need again, just to teach people what I already know?
I have taken personal effort to conduct some assessments. And sometimes the kind of questions we give to our learners will determine how they will grow in terms of their thinking capacity.
Right.
You look at 10 questions that have been administered to a child, and they all measure lower learning thinking order. When that happens, the child will never develop the critical thinking mindset that we want. So we expose teachers to how they can conduct various forms of assessment that will help our learners not only become rote learners, but learners that can solve problems within their community. Apart from that, you agree with me that no two persons, if from the same mother, think alike. So we have individual differences that these teachers must be exposed to. So the nitty-gritty of the teaching profession is there, which they are not exposed to. So we are using this short period to at least orient them that whilst you're holding forth for us, you need to understand child development, assessment practices, how learning styles, and how you can even use teaching learning resources to support the learners, how to design a learning environment that will help the learner to even learn better. But that is not enough. That's why we are saying that after getting this permit, you have to take conscious effort to also professionalize yourself by going to teacher education program. And believe me or not, NTC, we also regulate the teacher education training program that takes place in the universities and that of the College of Education. So we know the kind of training that
You will be giving.
you'll be giving. Yeah.
I'm just learning that not all teachers are teachers. there,
Exactly.
there are differences in
Right.
them. But some would say it's just a short period. Francis, how can they take advantage of this window that you're creating for them?
Yeah, even though it is a short period, but the content is very good for them.
Okay.
They are going to do 6 hours in a day and for 6 days, at the end of which they will be assessed, small assessment,
Okay.
to ensure that they meet the minimum competencies that is required of them. And then during the training, they will be taken through how to teach. They will do peer teaching. Assessors will be there and direct them.
So it's just as though you're taking them back into the training colleges where you give professional
Yes,
training.
yes.
to-
Even though it
to
is
people.
short,
Okay.
but it is compact. So they will do teaching practice for us to observe and comment and then correct them.
Right.
So all these things are packaged in the training. So there will be peer teaching, there will be teaching and learning material preparation, there will be questioning skills, and then how to assess even learners. Sometimes we go and look at someone, even though they think that they are doing well, but if you bring a professional, you see that there are certain things that they are not doing right. So within the short period, they will be taught how to manage the classroom, child behaviors, and other things. So it is short, but it is very, very.
So is this open to all teachers within the pre-tertiary space?
Yes, every teacher who is not qualified,
Okay.
and you are in the classroom teaching, is open to you.
So once they acquire the certificates, they are cleared now to teach.
They are clear to teach, but the law states that you must take the necessary steps to become a professional within that 3 years, because the authorization is valid for 1 year and it's renewable for 2 other years only. So when
You need to break that down
Right,
so
right.
that so that
Yeah.
so, yeah.
so
Oh,
what you
okay.
are saying
So
is that-
Lawrence will come in
Yes.
later. Just break that down.
when after the training, NTC will give you the authorization to teach.
Teach. Okay.
So when you get authorization, you must take the necessary steps to become a
Professional.
teacher.
Okay.
Either you embark on distance programs or you go back to college. But this one, because you are teaching, it can be done on sandwich basis. When schools are on vacation, then you'll go to school,
Right.
then come back.
And come back. Right.
So within the 3 years, you are done with any distance program that you want to. But if you are a degree holder, you need only 1 year, which is
To
2
top up,
semesters
yeah.
to top up. So this is what we have for them. If you take it and you stay away, the law says that within the 3 years, if you're not taking any steps to upgrade yourself, the authorization can be withdrawn. So it lies on the non-professional teacher to get enrolled and become a
And
professional.
within that period, ensure that you become a professional. But within the 6 weeks, is it within this May period that you're carrying out this training? Have you spoken to the heads of the institutions where these teachers are, so they are giving the free will to at least come spend 6 hours and do that top up? Is it something that they can easily handle?
Oh yes, we've had series of meetings with their leaders. So we had just recently, 3rd to 7th April, we had a similar one at Augusto Senya East District. So it was during their vacation. We normally do it either on weekends or during vacation, when the students are not, the pupils are not in schools. So the teachers can get time for the training.
Lawrence, how would you respond to claims that you're simply targeting those who haven't had the benefit of going through the colleges of education, and that you may lose many more teachers when in fact data shows that we need more of them in the system?
Yeah, I can tell you that we have more trained and licensed teachers who have not been engaged by the public sector
Okay.
and looking for job. So there's no way, if these people don't turn up,
Right.
we will lose teachers. Recently, UK opened
portal.
employer for teachers, and they call us that over 15,000 teachers have applied. And
Which means that some 15,000 may soon leave if they get the opportunity.
but if you look at the number of teachers that are trained by UCC alone, it's over 100,000 every year.
Okay.
we have Winneba, KNUST, we have UDS, University of Ghana, Valley View. We have so many universities that are training teachers. So it's a thing of the past where we were entertaining non-professional teachers in the system. But what I want to quickly say is that we have licensed all the professionals. This one is not a license. It's a kind of permit that we want to give to those that we used to call people teachers who are already in the system.
So it's like some temporary
permit.
Certification.
And we license them to practice in a school. So it's the proprietor that will take the steps to populate the list of the teachers who are recruited or engaged in the school but are not professionals on the platform. And once that is done, the teachers will go to the platform to complete their application and make the necessary payment. That the school made the necessary payment. So when the school made the payment, you go through the training program, and when you are done, we license you in the name of the school. So that permit cannot be taken to another school.
So if I'm to understand this will even affect the private institutions, the private schools as well?
Yes, so it's for teachers in both private and public schools. And it is to the interest of the proprietor. If a teacher is licensed to your school and that permit doesn't work when the teacher moves from that school, it means that the teacher attrition in the private sector is going to be reduced, which is to their interest. And the private school teacher, you also now hold a certificate that shows that you are employed in a particular school. If you're also engaging with loan facility, at least that credibility is there for you. Even when you are filling a form that shows that you work with an agency organization, at least you have a credibility to justify that.
So how can teachers, who are watching us now, especially those in the private sector, roll onto this short course? And do you require some qualification, minimum qualifications, as you were pointing out earlier, for one to roll onto the program?
I think Francis mentioned the minimum qualification, but the most important thing is that these teachers must be teachers who have been engaged by school owners, whether in the public or private sector. And they must hold a qualification not below SHS.
But are there some, that's why I'm asking if there are some other factors you'll be considering, or you're opening this up to anyone at all?
It's open to those who have been recruited by school owners and have qualification not below the SHS qualification. And as we said, the 250 cedis must be paid on the portal for us to guarantee that the person is ready to go through the training. We'll give modules to the person. Everybody will get a manual. Even if you are not able to go through the training successfully, you still have the manual to guide you.
Oh, some may not be successful?
Well, this is a pack training, and learning takes longer time before you can get the impact. So those who may not be able to go through successfully due to illness or unforeseen circumstance still have the manual that they can.
Will you fail some of them?
It depends. Let's wait and see.
That's what I was heading to.
Yeah, we are encouraging them. You see, it's not be pleasant for you to see that a teacher handling your child does not qualify to be in the school. We've all seen the effect of a bad teacher in the classroom. Right now, if you look back, some of the concepts that were introduced to the way they are now, if you have gotten them right from the beginning, so we encourage the private school owners, importantly, because for government GES, it's easy to handle them, but the private school owners, they have to come on board, because after this exercise, the act says that even those who will get the permit is renewable every year for not more than 2 years. So within the 3 years, you have to take the necessary step to be licensed. If you don't do that, the council has the right to withdraw the permit from you. And withdrawing it from you means that you can no longer practice.
Absolutely not. But Francis, it's like those who have taught us in the past, you're taking them back to the classrooms. You are setting exams for our teachers, and on top, you want to fail them. So, I mean, this is going to be a tough time for teachers, or you think otherwise?
Oh, no, it is not going to be a tough time. In fact, we are not taking them back to the school. Those who taught us, some of them were trained teachers. The target is for the non-professional teachers. If you go to a school, you can have even in the private schools, some are trained teachers,
Okay.
but they choose to be in the
Private sector.
and others are in the public. So the target is for those who have not been trained as teachers. It is not to sack them, but just want to encourage them to update their skills and knowledge in so that they can practice at whatever
They want to.
They want to. Yes. So, and we are not saying that they are not writing the Ghana Teacher Licensure Examination. The GTLE is for those who have done teacher education program and they want to teach.
Okay.
They write the
licensure.
licensure examination. This is not a licensure examination. So it is an assessment that we will do. And we have various forms of assessment. The intention is not to fear somebody, but to ensure that you participate fully and get the concept right.
But after this training, if within the 3-year period the teacher acquires their certification, will they still be subject to the licensure?
We are now being trained as a teacher.
So they will still have to write.
We have come back and write.
So they're back to another examination.
Yes.
Wow.
That one, we are now being trained as a teacher. A 3 or 4 year program. So
you must join that professional body again.
Perfect.
So it will mean that at the end of the day, every single teacher that will be in our classrooms would have acquired a license to practice. Is that
Yeah.
Now,
Right now, if you go to most of our schools, we've licensed over
about
310,000 teachers across the country.
already?
Yes. And these are the
Didn't write the
professionals.
examination.
Yeah. Those who didn't write the examination,
Okay.
310,000. And we started the license examination also in 2018. And every year, not less than 50,000 people write the exams. So I can say that majority of the teachers in Ghana are now licensed teachers.
Right.
Myself, I have my license. You also have.
I'll come for mine too.
exactly.
I'll come for mine too.
if
I'll do
you were a
my
teacher.
cousin. I would definitely join. I'll definitely join and come for mine. It's a good time now to be a teacher. Obviously, because of the reforms that we're seeing. We need to wrap up. What will be your message to those who are watching us who may want to be a part of the course? Let me start off with you, Francis.
Yes, we are encouraging all non-professional teachers and then proprietors to register. They should go to the portal. You've sent the letters already. You should go to the portal and then register their teachers and then pay the required fee, which is 250 Ghana cedis, for the training and for the certification, so that NTC will not come and say that, oh, you don't have the authorization, so leave the classroom. No, we don't want to do that. You should all be encouraged to go to the portal and register, and then for the training and then for the authorization.
Right. And for you, Oris?
Right. If you look at the Act 1023, Sections 79 and 80, it prescribes offenses for those who don't comply with this law. So I encourage the teachers to take this SI seriously, and also encourage the school owners to also take this SI seriously so that we can get our teachers counted.
And I'm sure that in the coming days you'll be engaging them as well, or you've already engaged.
Oh, we are still engaging them.
Definitely, definitely. And I'm grateful to Lawrence and Francis for joining us, giving us a sense of what you need to do as a teacher.